I'm rarely surprised by GhostBSD these days. It's fast, it's reliable, it's wonderful to use. But in this video, you'll find something which I did, which surprised me and pleased me. Keep watching. Right, here we are. We're going to go to the GhostBSD homepage. And I think, every time that you want to review an operating system or use an operating system, I think the homepage, the whole experience with it is kind of tied to the overall OS experience. If the homepage and the website is professionally done and nicely laid out, I think it gives you a better impression of the OS itself. I mean, there's nothing worse than a great OS with a terrible website because it gives you that kind of like sourish feeling. With GhostBSD, you not only get a great operating system, you also get a great website. As you can see, everything is laid out fairly simple. It tells you that in the About section, everything's just logical. You got your news. So if you want the latest releases and news about the latest releases, it tells you there. News about the latest releases. It's just, everything's just laid out nice and neat. You can even view, if I can find that, if you can even view what's new in a release just by clicking on the actual headline. And it just takes you down to the changelog, bug fixes, security fixes, and crucial as well, instructions on how to install to a USB stick. Wonderful. It's very easily laid out, not over convoluted, as you do with some operating systems, and it doesn't lead you down the labyrinth of, waffle. So yeah, and if you want to read more about the changes, I'm not going to go over them in this video, but if you want to read more about the changes, it tells you more in depth here. You can click on each one if you want. There's quite a few nice changes being made. Even tells you if you upgrade an existing install. It's all very nice. I like it. It's good. And then you've got more information, like online menu, very comprehensive. There's more community interaction with forums and Telegram and Discord and IRC and Reddit and Twitter, or X, as it is nowadays. The download page, of course, perhaps the most important part. And it's laid out into two categories. You've got the official image and the community ghost image, which is XFCE. I should imagine most people will just go for the official image, which is based on Mate. You can support by issuing a bug report, GitHub, and frequently asked questions. There's development, if you want GitHub, issue tracking, roadmap documentation, and Telegram, if you want to contact the developers directly. And there's some stores like Redbubble and Zazzle. And you can donate, of course, Patreon, donor list, and sponsors. We'll have a quick look at what's available on the stores. I don't tend to have a look here, but I'll see what's on offer. I would imagine it'll be like stickers and T-shirts and stuff like that. So the first one we'll look at is Redbubble. There's not a great amount on Redbubble at the moment, but I think that will increase. And it's just mainly stickers for your machine if you want, or your laptop, to show the world that you're using GhostBSD, and why not? The other one we're going to look at is Zazzle. And we can change to the UK one. Yeah, I might do. And accept cookies. Now this is a bit more comprehensive. You've got T-shirts, of course, mugs. Just wait for it to load in. My internet connection today is absolutely terrible. There we go. And like sweatshirts or just full of shirts, yeah. Yeah, it's good. There's not... there's a view all products there, but we'll just leave it at that. Last but not least, we'll have a look at the donate page. Now, of course, this isn't mandatory. You don't have to donate. Of course you don't. You can download without donating. But, you can donate as much as you want. You can be a big spender, or you can donate a couple of pounds or a couple of dollars. It doesn't matter. I mean, you don't have to donate anything. Just use, like, and just trying to interact. That's enough, really. But, I should imagine with all these things, bills have to be paid and equipment has to be bought. So it does help. He's not going to use it to go on a holiday in the Caribbean. So here we go. We're going to go direct download. And, there's not a fantastic, huge list of mirrors. If you click on the one that's represents your part of the world, I suppose, you've got Canadian, the French, and South African one. So for me, it's going to be, if you top one, if you're in the Americas, then click the top one. For me, it's going to be the French mirror. And it's a modest, 2.6 gigabyte image. Right, so when that's done, we'll going back to the instructions that it showed you on the news page about the latest release, and it showed you all the changes, etc. There was a little section at the bottom where it showed you how to install on the system that you're using to a USB stick. You can use a GUI tool, say for instance, Belena Etcher or whatever you want to use, or you can go into the command line. And on BSD it lists as using DD, on Linux it's DD, on Mac it's DD, and Windows is even a DD, which I was really surprised at, to tell you the truth. Just shows you there's slight subtleties in each particular version, but if you choose one which suits you, and then use that, or use a GUI tool if you wish. Whichever way you do it, once it's done, pop it into whichever way you choose. You have to wait a little bit until it writes to the USB stick. Make sure the USB stick doesn't contain anything that you don't want erasing, because it will write over it. And if you're using the DD tool, it's a very powerful, simple tool, but make sure you put in the USB device. In this case, it's DA0. Make sure you don't put ADA or whatever it is for your hard drive, because they'll write over your hard drive, and that might not be so good. So once that's done, remove the USB stick, put it into the machine that you want to boot into, and install GhostBSD onto. Or just use GhostBSD as a live CD, because that's what it can do. It's non-persistent, but it can still use as a live CD. So speaking of which, we're going to be booting into the live session in GhostBSD. We'll have a look around and have a little configure. Like I say, what it does is it boots off the USB stick, loads everything into RAM, and I'm using the test machine, which is my old Optiplex. There's the specs on screen. The 80 gigabyte Western Digital hard drive has been replaced by an SSD, so it's a little bit faster, but essentially the same. And we'll fast forward this process, but it does copy everything into RAM, so it will be super quick. It's non-persistent, what means if you save anything to the desktop, etc., it's going to be not there if you shut the machine down and reboot again. It's not like Nomad BSD, which saves to the USB stick itself. Right, so here we are. It's almost a classic GhostBSD desktop. Things don't change that much. Every now and then, every few releases, you might get things changing in the size of icons, icon style, etc., even wallpaper. But it's essentially, it looks the same from release to release. It certainly feels the same. And you've got the basic layout. You've got your multiple desktops, virtual desktops. Then you've got your time and calendar, which is the same thing, links to the same thing. Then you've got your networking, in which case is Ethernet, your volume, and then you've got your system menu, places menu, and applications menu. You've got your icons on the screen, basic stuff. You've got computer, home, trash, and importantly, install. And if you right-click on the desktop, it brings up the same menu for system functions. And possibly most important of all, to change the backgrounds, which we'll have a look. If it loads, yeah, there we go. There's been one or two additions over the years, but it's basically always the same. Your themes are, that's basically what you see. And we'll have a look at that later. We'll do a bit of tweaking with that later. For accessories, these is what comes with GhostBSD as standard. So a lot of them are Mate defaults, as it were. Not really specific to GhostBSD. Although one or two are. Yeah, it's all basic things. It's all bare essentials. Nothing in the office, which... nothing in the office, that rhyme. Yeah, that's one contentious thing with me. I wish they would include a very simple word processor, which would make the whole point of it being a live session perhaps a little bit more logical. Nomad BSD also do that as well, I think, where they don't include an office suite, which, when you're using something on the go like that, I think, I don't know. That's just me. I would have included one, but again, I say that every time. You got your basic networking, your places, and your system tools. Again, a lot of them are Mate defaults, like these here. Although there are one or two GhostBSD specific ones, which we'll have a look at. And there's anything with station in it, like Station Tweak or Software Station, etc. But the rest are Mate defaults, and we'll have a look at them in a bit. So yeah, it's all very nice. It's all very GhostBSD-y. If you've used previous versions, you'll know what to expect, and that's a good thing. I think at this point in its life cycle, I mean, I suppose become boring, is that a good thing? It's not a bad thing. You don't always need to have the latest this, that, and the other in order to have a successful operating system. You just need stability. So we're going to have a look at the different backgrounds, and so what we're going to do is a little experiment to show you what I mean by it doesn't persist through boots. And it doesn't even persist through installs. So I'll show you what I mean. We're going to change the background. I would have thought that anything that you did during this live session would stay with an install, but it doesn't. It does and it doesn't. I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to change the background. We're going to alter the font size. So change it to a little bit more readable with my tired old eyes. And we're going to create a new folder. Let's see if it's there when we install. So we've got background, change font size, create a new folder. We'll try and install some software. I think so. There's nothing in... Yeah, I know what we'll put on. So we'll install Inkscape. I love Inkscape. I think Inkscape is an extremely invaluable tool for me. I do all my graphics with it, such as they are. And we're going to use a software station to install it. And the software station, it's like almost like a live search. So if I just put in the keywords and it will find what you need. In this case, I'm just searching for Inkscape. Just apply that. Reasonable. And then we confirm to install. We'll have a look at this software station once we've got everything installed onto the hard drive. But for now, we'll just fast forward. And if we go to graphics, it should, yeah, there's Inkscape now. And we'll just start it up. Like I say, everything runs really quick because it's running from RAM. And that's part of one of the problems when, if you reboot, everything won't be there. But we're just trying to see if it installs to hard drive. Does it copy everything from what you're using right now to the hard drive? That's a question I get asked quite a few times. People want to know if they do anything on the live session, will it go? If they install, will it get copied too? I think, like I say, it does on Nomad BSD. There's an option to install a hard drive there, and it copies everything from the USB stick to the hard drive. With this, we'll find out. So we changed the wallpaper. The font created a new folder, and we've installed Inkscape. We shall see. What we're going to do is we're going to try some updates, see if there's any updates. No updates available at the moment. Okay. And we could try configuring the printer. Now with GhostBSD, I've always had easy experience with printers. It finds my network printer. There it is. It finds my network printer really easily. you can't get simpler than this. This is so much better than the old days on FreeBSD where, I mean, it's better now on FreeBSD, but in the old days of FreeBSD, oh my goodness, it was an experience to try and get your printer going. We're going to choose generic and PCL laser. I'll keep it at that. Everything's done for you already, so it's just a matter of clicking next or forward. I'm going to click duplexer. And everything looks fine. And that's it. We're going to print a test page and see how that goes. Oh, that's already doing it. It's doing it now. Oh, it's something's happening. It's all done. I'll show you the test page in a minute. Very good. Let's close that. And here's the test page printed out. There we go. Very exciting, isn't it? So, that worked reasonably well. So we'll just try and install now. And the installation process for GhostBSD, as you've seen on many times in my videos, is really easy. You get a list of different languages you want on the left-hand side there. For me, I just need to go down to English United Kingdom. Click Next. You got a keyboard layout on the left-hand side. It defaults to the US one, even though I've clicked the United Kingdom one, which is a little bit... Don't know why it does that. You'd think automatically it would go to the UK layout. But I mean, that's not a major thing. That's just a matter you're just scrolling down. But it would be nice if it did it automatically. And there's your keyboard models. It doesn't detect it straight away. Again, if you just click on the one that applies to you. For me, it's SunType, SunType 7 USB, European style. I have to get myself one of them Unix ones. I love Sun keyboards. So that looks fine. You can test out the keyboard if you want, which, you know, you should do to make sure everything's right. And there's the quotation marks or speech marks. There's a pound symbol, and there's a dollar symbol. So everything works fine. You can choose your continent, and within the continent, you choose the capital city that represents your country. So rather than choosing your country, which perhaps you would think, you just choose the capital city of the country that you want. Kind of slightly different, but, you know, it works. Full disk configuration. You can leave everything at default. If you're using a single disk, if you're using any other combination, you can change it there. So click on ADA 0. I think pool name we can leave swap size, and we just click next. And again, next, because that's the only OS that we're putting on. You fill in your details. Again, you see, I've done this loads of times, so it's nothing new. RoboNuggie for your real name, or whatever you want to put, of course. It then makes up a username in lowercase. You put in a secure password. Or not, it just says super weak. And it will detect whether it matches. Now, if it doesn't match, if you spell it wrong or press the wrong key, it will tell you. That is very useful. And install. And one thing about GhostBSD, which always makes me smile, is how quick it is to install. It's about, 4 or 5 minutes sometimes? And it's done. Holy moly. It's done in 1 minute, 52 seconds or thereabouts. That's incredible. That's really quick. Remarkable. Great job done there by the developers. We'll restart the system. We'll take the USB stick out and we'll boot. And here we are. We're booting it into a newly installed on an SSD in my test machine, GhostBSD. So we'll just log into the desktop. Hopefully it works. It should do. Now there it is. Yeah. Your experience. Well, right from the start, I can tell you that the wallpaper didn't take, and so didn't the new folder. And there are some updates available. Okay, let's have a look. There were no updates available when we tried the live session. I didn't think there would be. I'll fast forward this little bit because it's a little bit slow. So these are the updates available. Okay, that's not too bad. It's not an exorbitant amount. Some essential ones. Yeah, okay, a lot of GStreamer ones. New packages to be installed. Okay, some firmware ones, which is useful. Wayland, if that's all interesting, and to be reinstalled because obviously the library's changed. Okie dokie. And it creates a backup of your system before you upgrade. And so if anything goes wrong, you can always roll back, which is very nice. And we'll start to install. Right, done. So another restart, just for everything to kick in. Right, we're going to start in. We're going to explore GhostBSD. We've updated it. We've installed some things. We're going to install something else. Give it a look around and look and feel, and give it a little bit of a test, which is something we like to do. I use GhostBSD on a very regular basis, so for me, it's weird when you try and review something you use all the time. Right, so here we are booting into GhostBSD. I'm going to measure the boot time. I'm not speeding anything up. We're just going to see how long it takes from the menu, as you've just seen, to the login screen, and hopefully it's not going to be too slow. There we go. So like 16 seconds or thereabouts. Not too bad. So one thing overall about this release is everything's quick, and hopefully, yeah, there we go. Logs in. Wonderful. Right then. So what do we do now? Well, he says, I'm going to show you the control center, which is full of, let's make it a bit bigger, it's full of goodliness from GhostBSD developers. This is where you'll find your backup station. As we mentioned before, when you make any upgrades, it always makes a backup, in which case it's highlighted at the top in the dark. It's the 24.10.1. That's the backup when we upgraded the packages. So if anything went wrong, it didn't work, you would roll back via the boot menu to that one, and it would work as if you'd not done anything, which is a wonderful feature. You can create a new boot environment snapshot anytime you want, and you can call it whatever you want, but you have to be kind of like logical with it, otherwise you'll forget what you did. In this case, we're going to call it test backup, and there it is. So if we did something crazy and really goosed up the system, we could undo that by just rolling back to that one before we did it. And of course, you can activate it so it works on the next boot. If you don't want to boot it and you want to access it anywhere, whatever files are in there, whatever you want to do, you can mount it manually and unmount it, of course, and delete it if you no longer require it. A wonderful integrated system for FreeBSD-based OS, which I think is wonderful. The print settings, they stayed through boot, which is through install, which is very useful. So you don't need to set that up again. Your software station, you've seen a quick glimpse of that when we installed Inkscape. Makes installing software very easy. I like it. It's really nice. Like I say, it's context based, it's search based, so you don't have to type up the entire word. I usually do that. That's just me. But even if you like partly put the word in, it will come up with suggestions. And one thing GhostBSD doesn't have by default, which I wish it would, is some kind of Office application. And two main ones which I'm always using is OpenOffice. Yeah, I still use that. I use the developer version. And of course, LibreOffice, which is the English GB version. You put in the language pack and it'll pull in the main LibreOffice packages. And for lightweightness, AbiWord. You see, GhostBSD could include AbiWord by default. I don't know how many people would use it, of course, but you can have, it's lightweight. So if I just show you, you can search for ab, and it's picking everything with A and B in it. AB is a bit more specific, and word ABW, there's only Abbey word that comes up with that. I like that. It's good. If you can't remember the full word or don't know how to spell it, it will search for it. And we'll get cracking with installing that. Right, we're all installed. Let's have a look at what's available for us now. You've got Office, you've got Abbey Word, Numeric, LibreOffice, OpenOffice, and yeah, okay, we'll have a look at OpenOffice. That loads really fast. I'm very impressed by that. I know OpenOffice leaves a little like starter thing in your menu and preloads some of it into your system, but that actually loaded first time, which is quite good. And I also do like the way that load a little starter bar at the top makes. If you do a lot of editing and firing up your Office suite, it makes it. If you sacrifice a little bit of your system resources, it's well worth it because the load time is instant. I like that. I wish LibreOffice would do that. It probably does. Someone's going to point out in the comments that LibreOffice can do that, but I've not seen it. I have with OpenOffice, but I kind of like that. And if you obviously your spreadsheet as well, and if you want to do that. Spreadsheets is something which I'm learning about at the moment. I kind of shied away from that for a long time, so I'm trying to work my way through various spreadsheet functions. What else have we got? Of course, we've got Abbey Word, which is everything's so quick. It's almost like it is loading from memory, but it's not. I don't know what it is. This GhostBSD feels really fast. The obligatory hello. Not quite got the same font sizing as OpenOffice or LibreOffice, but there's a lightweight editor. It's very it will do the job. You got Numeric, of course, which is almost like the equivalent. If you was to do a lightweight Office suite, I think Abbey Word and Numeric would go together very nicely. I like Numeric. It's something which I've installed for years. Not really used it though. Kind of I wish I had. And of course, LibreOffice is slightly slower at loading first time than OpenOffice. But it's a very well received, well regarded Office suite anyway, so and it goes down to 96. There we go. And there's the version if you need to know that. We won't save that. Okie dokie. So, next one we're going to look at is Update Station. I think we've already applied the update, so I don't think they're being available. There we go. Yeah, I didn't think so. So there's your station applications. Very nice addition to GhostBSD. And one of the other ones, which it should be called Tweak Station. I don't like to call Station Tweak. But anyway, it's part of the Station apps. And this really is just to let you tweak the desktop or the system a little bit. And in this case, the first option is the desktop icons. Of course, it does what it says on the tin, as they like to say. If you click on the icons to remove them, I'll leave that one there, or click on them to put them back. And you click on Interface to change the layout of your desktop anywhere. You got the Mate one, which is, you got a top and bottom panel. You got Windowy, which presumably it does there. It turns it into kind of a Windows-looking bottom panel. You got Elements, which is like Mac OS maybe. You got Classy, which is also that. I don't know what the difference is. You've got Purity. I think it's Purity. And you got Netbook, which is to a top panel. But we'll leave it at the Mate default. Which, I don't mind. It's fine. The old Norm 2 feel to it. You got how the windows move. You can if you move a window around, it usually takes the contents with it. If you can click that, then it doesn't. It's good if your system's slowing down or you've got low resources. You can use compositing for shadows and smooth movement. If you don't want that, just don't use it. Traditional right and contemporary for layout for the buttons. And window manager, I don't know why it's blank, but it doesn't mean nothing. It does it by default, but for some reason it doesn't show it. So yeah, it's basic tweaks, but you can it gives you a certain amount of layout altering if you want to do that. I only have limited hardware which I can test, but I'll try my best with this. I'm going to plug in a scanner, which is a CanaScan Lide 220, I think it is. And let's see how GhostBSD brings that up. Again, the whole point of GhostBSD is so minimal configuration, so you shouldn't have to get into the terminal or alter files. It should perhaps have the tools or detect it straight away, so we'll see how it works. I've already installed Document Scanner, so we'll try and get that to work. This scanner usually works for me, although sometimes it can be hit and miss even on FreeBSD. So it's I don't know whether it's look at that lot. It says no provider. It's having problems with OpenGL for some reason. Simple scan. So after a little bit of trying to fix the problem, I gave up, and we're going to try Xsane, and we'll accept the terms. See if it can detect it. That's not looking. Oh, failed to open device. Invalid argument. That's an error that I get on FreeBSD sometimes. It's a pain in the derriere. So okay, we'll try another one which we've got, which is Scanlight. Let's see how that detects it. And I think it did, which is encouraging. But there's an error, of course. Oh well, never mind. Right, the next thing we're going to try is Webcam. And I'm using Webcamoid. Webcamoid, is that right? Yes, it works straight away. So I plug the webcam in, no configuration, and it detected it straight away, which is good. That's how you want it. That's how it should be. The webcam, if you're interested, is like a Logitech 910 or 910. I don't know. It's a Logitech. Right, next I'm plugging in USB sticks. And let's change the background so we can see what we're doing. I've just plugged in the install USB and it's detected it. I don't think I've got any more lying around which can test different file systems at the moment, but there's the BSD 2-clause license. I haven't got any USB sticks, so this one will do. And it's detected it, which is good. That's how it should be. And next, what we're going to try is Wi-Fi. Now, I found via the software station lots of firmware mods for different chipsets. Now, I don't know whether you need to install all these. You probably don't, but I'm going to install them nonetheless and see what happens. I'm going to plug it in a Wi-Fi stick and see if things work. It's a Ralink 802. It uses the RT2870 chipset. And it's an Edimax. An Edimax stick. I can't remember which one it is. I'll show a picture of it on screen towards the end. And it works. I haven't had to configure the Wi-Fi. I went into the Wi-Fi manager at the top right-hand corner, selected it when it showed up in the manual, when it showed up in the menu, entered the password, and it worked. To me, that is remarkable. Yes, I know it's an older chipset, and a lot of people are going to need it. But considering that FreeBSD hasn't had a really, there's the one that I had. I mean, I bought this 2012. It's really old, but it works. I plugged it in and it works. No configuration. You're going to think, well, big deal. It's end standard. Yes, I know. But for me, it's progress. Right, what do I give GhostBSD? Well, as always, I'm going to give it 5 nuggies. It's easy to install and easy to update and easy to install software. You don't need to use the terminal. It's based on FreeBSD stable brand, so it's it runs the latest things while not being too cutting edge. You've got friendly and accessible devs and community, which is 100% true. And Wi-Fi worked out of the box. It may not for you. It did for me with that one specific. I weren't lucky. If I'd have used any other chipset after or before, it probably wouldn't have worked. It might have done, but it might not have done. But for me, on this one old stick, I thought, crikey, I'm going to give that a go. It worked for me. So to me, that's all. That's all I need. And some of the negatives, well, some of the hardware may not work. And Wi-Fi is choosy. The scanner didn't work, which is a shame. Your scanner might work. Your Wi-Fi might not work. It's FreeBSD and FreeBSD-based OSs. Linux, is a little bit better, but not even that is 100%. Can be choosy. And if you're lucky, excellent. If you're not, a little bit of a headache. And the other downside, and it's not a major one, it's just something that beefs me, is there's no bundle Office Suite. So you can't get work done. If you're perhaps using GhostBSD as a live session on a machine without Wi-Fi, or you haven't got Ethernet and you can't get your Wi-Fi to work, then there's no way for you to do a little spot of work. But then that's just me. But above all, really, GhostBSD is an excellent, well-polished, boring? Is that a good thing? I think it is. OS. It's mature. It's well looked after and developed. It's regularly updated. And it's based on FreeBSD, the solidness of it. Wonderful. The channel immeasurably. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thank you for watching this very long video. And I'll catch you next time.